What's going on, man? Cup Live, we back again. We got a whole another Tuesday right back with a whole bunch of new information. Got some more guests coming up. And like I said, we got a race coming up, not this weekend. This weekend we'll be at the Motorcycle Mania up at Eddyville, Iowa, Eddyville Raceway Park. I'll be up there myself competing on 2020, going up to the Trick Twos, a deal that they have up there along with the other sponsors that's going to be putting it on. We appreciate all those guys for inviting us up there. Had to pull them clubs out this week, give me a little shakedown and get this rust off because we're going to be playing a little golf tournament up there. Pull Big Boss on here, man. Me and him played in that thing last year. I know he got something he want to talk about as a concern that golf thing up in Iowa, man. What you talking about, man? What you talking about up there, Big Boss?
Hey, man, they put it with some mean boys this time. I hope they put it with the right flight this time. You know they had us in a cold flight last time. I hope they put us in a good flight this time.
How'd you enjoy yourself up there when we had that golf?
They shot. But they said they shot 7 under. But we ain't seen no shots. You know, I think we shot 3 under or something like that there. A golf course we ain't never played on. We left by 3 birdies out there. I know at least 3. So we should have shot 6 under ourselves. So maybe they could have shot 7 under, you know?
Yeah. They want to leave that trophy now. I think we need to try to see if we can bring that thing back our way one time.
Yeah. I've been I ain't been on the show in the last couple of weeks. I've been a little sick. And then my gal, her mama been sick. She been in the hospital every day. I mean, about 4 or 5 days in a row, she didn't even come home. Then one time I said, hey, how am I going to get on the show? Because she got the lab up, this computer thing up there with her. You know, I can't turn one on. So I missed a night like that one time because she couldn't rush back to get us on. Well, yeah, man, I've been having a little health problem, but I'm back on now. Everything. I tell you what, I'm really glad that you called me and told me that these people was on tonight. That's why I had them try to get well. Because that's one of my friends coming on tonight. Yeah, the husband and the wife, racers, both racers now. So, yeah, you got some hell of a racers coming on tonight, man. Yeah, I can't wait till she come on. Me and her chop it up every time we at the race, I talk to her.
And don't forget now, you know, not this weekend, like I told them, not this weekend, but the following weekend, we're going to be at the House of Hook, Carolina Dragway, with the Hooked on Speed, the Man Cup, Hooked on Speed, sponsored by the 190 Hookup and Robinson Industries.
Right.
Mr. Robinson, I appreciate you. I know you got a transmission coming my way, man. I had to get my transmission worked on too, man. I don't know what's going on, but a lot of people had to do some transmission work. But at any rate, I appreciate y'all getting it back, and I got to do a special thing to my mechanic, Willer Performance up there in Louisville, Kentucky. Right. He always keep me on point when he know I'm ready to go racing and everything. He know I got to get my little itch off at the same time. So I appreciate you, Deshaun, Micah, Willer family up there for getting me got teed up. I'm going to ease out of here Wednesday night, headed your way. I'll be parked in your garage Thursday morning, man, so we can get on up that hour. But look here, man, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to bring them guests on y'all was talking about right now. I'll see y'all. We'll be right back. There we go. There y'all go. We got our guests tonight. Mrs. Gladys and Frank Loney. They are both motorcycle drag racers. Look here, man. Get them the big screen. I want y'all to introduce yourself over here. How about that?
What's up, Hollywood? I'm Gladys.
And I'm Frank, also known as John.
Hold on, there. You got an alias already?
I got an alias. You want me to give you? John is my government name. We all know what that means, right?
Yeah. Hey, I didn't even know your name was John. They told me, I said, I'm going to get John on with us. And I was like, damn, she got somebody else on there. She trying to hang up and put on the thing with us. I don't know what I'm going to say to the guy.
I got 2 million.
I see. You got you a Frank and a John.
Frank and a John.
Hey, but I really appreciate y'all coming on. Like I told y'all, I want everybody to get to know, the racers themselves outside of the environment that we competing, because it's intense at that time. And here we are, we got a husband and a wife race team, and that's a heck of a combination. So I want y'all to start off with telling me, y'all could take y'all time with me, take turns telling me when did you start drag racing, both of y'all? When did y'all get into drag racing, and how did you get into motorcycle drag racing? How about that? Let's start with that.
Well, you've been in it longer than I have.
Okay. So I'll kind of just open it up. As a child, I grew up in a neighborhood where there was a lot of folk that were out there drag racing on the street, and sometimes at the drag strip, older guys with cars. None of them really had motorcycles, so obviously my first exposure to that was the cars. But we had some neighbors who had motorcycles that were dirt bikes that would ride around sometimes. So I became somewhat enthralled about that. And as time went on, an older brother of mine bought a motorcycle. I was about 9 the first time I learned to ride a motorcycle. It actually had a hand clutch and all that, but I was too small to ride it. As far as getting on it, they had to hold it up for me to ride. I'd ride it around in the yard across the property. And then when it was time for me to get off of it, I'd have to blow the horn for them to come out and get me off of it. So that was my first exposure to actually riding a motorcycle. As far as racing is concerned, when I was about 15, I got a motorcycle, a little Honda 175. I used to ride to high school. So, of course, that led to me playing around out on the street, which I don't condone street racing. Let me just say that first of all. There's no future in racing on the street, folks. So don't do it.
Do a little bit at some point in the time.
We did. That was a part of the process. So I actually, as I got older, really wanted to get into racing a little bit. I went to my first drag race with all motorcycles when I was in Houston. IDBA, I think, was out there at the time. And I saw a lot of small tire bikes out there, something that looked kind of like street, but not really. And I became, a little bit more excited about the concept of getting my own. So when I moved back to South Carolina from Houston, I actually searched out and I found myself a small tire drag bike, and that's what I started off on, a small tire Kawasaki drag bike.
So
and,
you
from there,
she come in.
Race bike.
He fooled me in, Pinky.
Yeah, when did she come in the picture?
Where she comes in, here's where it comes in.
Yeah, with the bike, world when she started doing her thing.
When we met at a drag strip, Paisley drag strip, right. And we got to talking at the drag strip, and we had some interest in the fact that we both were from the country, and family structure was the same. So I'm thinking to myself, this is pretty good. This lady seems to be somebody I could spend some time with. So right. I actually asked her to come over and start helping me a little bit with the drag bike, and she started writing down in the logbook.
Work first.
Here's this. I worked it first in the logbook. I got her to start keeping my stats. But see, there's strategy to that, because I knew if I got her to keep the stats, eventually she'd get to understanding the race game. So then she would start coming with me more, right?
That's right.
And eventually, I got her to the point to where I had an extra drag bike. It was a street bike, and I asked her, I said, "Would you like to learn?" She said she wasn't ready at that point in time. So fast forward about a year later, she just came and said, "Hey, I think I'm ready to ride now." And that's how it all started.
Out the blue.
Out the blue.
So what kind of bike? So go ahead, Pete.
Go ahead, Wood.
So
I just want to say this here.
Huh?
I just want to say I recommend y'all on that background. I ain't just jumping off and everything. Y'all get back on it, but that background, the background is real lovely, man. I want to let y'all know that. We have a lot of people come on the show, man, and some of them, they got the background. They was ready for us. And then some of them, they were just, it wasn't like that there. Y'all move around a little bit. Let me see some of them trophies right there. Look, them trophies behind you.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a couple
we can talk about that while we got them.
They got a wallet right there, Wood. Look at the wallet. They got a wallet.
Yeah. That's the story too, but
Yeah, well, let's get in. Let's segue into it while we talking about it. He already got you going that way, so let's go ahead and talk about them trophies back there.
You want to talk about the wallet? Let's do that for a minute.
Yes, that's your victories, man.
I also have my man cup trophy back here too. Now
I see that.
Thank you. So the wallet trophy came about like this. I'll talk about this Wally real quick. So I've always wanted a Wally. Obviously, everybody strives to try to win an NHRA Wally. Went to Savannah Dragway, invited by my buddy Freddie Bates. I'm sending a shout out to Freddie right now, so I'm gonna drop a few names. Mm-hmm. I get down there and I take my drag bike with me, my small tire bike. I get there and also had come from Myrtle Beach, drag bike week or something. I still had my Harley in the trailer, same Softail Custom that I won the runner-up on that with.
Right.
So
Wow,
it was in the
and
trailer. The
Rocky
drag
had
bike wouldn't start. Couldn't get it to start. So I looked back in the trailer and I said, well, I really want to race because I want this Wally. So I pulled a Harley out. Had never raced it before. I went and I started, made a few time runs, and I ended up winning that race on my Harley. So that's how that Wally came about, believe it or not.
The same
that trucker stands
dinosaur
out
V
over all of them.
twin with that one.
That's the same
The
bike.
following year, I
bike.
went back.
Same bike.
The following year, I went back on with my old Honda CB750, and I ended up winning another Wally with that one. And
So you
Wade
won
Cherry
two
was the
Wallies.
person. 2 Wallies back to back. Yeah, and Wade Cherry was the person I ran in the finals with that. So I'm dropping the name on my buddy Wade Cherry.
That's a big name right there.
Oh,
You call
man,
off.
that's
name
pretty
back
cool.
then.
Wade,
everybody knows Wade.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
But
Wade's
going
still
back
hanging
to
out there
racing-
with us in 460.
Yes, he
That's
is. Wade has been a mentor to me as well. I do want to mention that. I do all my mechanical work, all that stuff, build my own bikes. But Wade had been a definite help to me as far as the actual intricacies of the green cams, that kind of stuff, which I was kind of weak on.
Right.
So he's really been a big help to me to really bring the program completely together. So I do want to give him the respect that he deserves because he helps a lot of people.
Right. That's
out
Wade's
there
a
in
super
the
good guy too, man. I mean, he's an awesome racer. You know, very dedicated to the race. I've seen when all y'all come is Wade. You got Wade. You got Curtis Griggs.
Yes.
All y'all come
Yes.
pretty much
Yes.
the same
That's
little
right.
area right there, pretty much, ain't it? Joe,
Right.
don't Joe Lemons come up in that same area where y'all from too?
Same.
Yes.
Yep. Same
yes.
area.
Yes. So we all kind
Yeah,
of come
yeah.
together as a group, as a team, and we help one another. And that's one thing about Curtis Griggs. We kind of helped him and mentored him a little bit. And Curtis has come a long ways from being a basic bracket racer now. He went into Top Gas, total pro tree racer now. Well, Super Comp first, and then Top Gas, and then of course now 460. So another shout out to Curtis Griggs.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Let me just say this here. Really not a question. I just want to commend your wife. Check this out. Man, your wife got a beautiful attitude. She don't look like nothing ain't never wrong. I'm talking when you're at the track, you can red light or you can lose around, and she just smiled walking off the track. I said, what happened? Oh, well, he didn't win that time. Man, I'm talking your wife got a beautiful attitude and a smile, boss. I can tell you that there now, man. It's lovely to see
Yeah,
y'all.
and I
Y'all
appreciate
a real
it.
couple. Y'all's a real
It's all in the
racing
damn
couple,
racing.
boss. Yes,
It's
yes.
all part of the
Y'all-
game. That's right.
Hey, Wood,
It's all
they
part of the
love
game.
it. They love it. They don't like it. They love it. It's a difference between
I am a
love
very
and like.
lucky person.
I know
That's
you
There's
is,
no
man.
doubt.
You
I'm
is,
a
man.
lucky person. It's not very often
Yes,
that that you come across someone who actually supports you the way she does me in the
That's
sport.
right.
And I'm very fortunate. I don't ever take that for granted either, because there's a lot of
Yes.
wives and girlfriends that do not come to the track to support their
Right.
men, like
right.
in my
That's
opinion
right.
they should. But
That's right.
I don't take that for granted, and I appreciate everything she does.
But see, on the flip
I
side, he
know you
always
do.
makes sure I'm ready to go. He
Ain't
takes
right.
care of
Well,
me. He
y'all
takes care of my bike. He always makes sure I'm ready, so I don't have to worry
Y'all
about
a package.
anything.
Hey, Wood,
But
we're down Alabama. She came up to me. I was sitting over in the thing, watching things. She's, I'm racing. You racing what? I got my bike. Man, you ain't got no bike. And then she had her leathers on. I said, you ought to quit fronting, walking around like you finna ride something. You ain't got. And man, about 30 minutes later, she said, here I am. I said, oh man, yeah. I was proud to see you on that bike that day. Yeah, I was. I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
So we heard how Frank got in there. You say he drugged you in it, but what bike did you actually start out on, Gladys?
I started out on the street bike, the GSX or the water cool bike. Now, I think you have a picture of it. I started out on that and raced it for about a year, and my sponsor gave me the drag bike, the first drag bike I had. He ride it in 560 now. So I rode that bike, oh gosh, till I was several years. And then he built me my car tie bike. First time I ever been on a car tie bike. But the joke with me on the drag bike, never seen a drag bike, never been on the drag bike. He put me in the garage and made me race in the garage on the drag bike without starting it up.
Get the balance. That's right.
Oh yeah.
Then he took me
that's
to
the best thing though. That's the best thing. I mean, you know, the mental part is the majority of the whole aspect of racing. Period. Anyway, I mean, the machine, as they say, even professionals say, the machine makes up 10% of the equation. 90% of it is mental.
Yeah.
So to
That's
take those
correct.
dry laps in the garage, memorizing, switches, the procedure, getting your pre-shot routine, like in golf,
That's right.
your pre-start
Everything.
routine is the same thing. So you stood in it. He had you in the garage doing how many laps you had a Frank? How many pads you had to do before you turned it loose,
Hey, I
Frank?
made her stay in there till she got tired.
Hey,
I
hey,
won a
did y'all doing the
championship in the
burnouts?
garage.
Did you
Hey,
start it
I
No,
up
won
in
a
there? Let her
championship.
feel it? Did you
No,
Had to do
start that
all
bike
of it.
up in there?
Eventually we
That's
did
what
have
I
to
was
start it up,
thinking.
put
That's
it on
what I'm
two
saying.
step.
You go through the whole
You
motion. That's
gotta
right.
feel it.
That's right.
I
That's right. Let
actually
her
that's
hooked.
what
feel
I
I
it.
hooked
did.
a.
That's right. She'd
I
have to
hooked a
feel it.
delay
That's
box
right.
up to the two step and all that kind of stuff, so she could practice her
Hey man,
reaction time. I did it through the
I
two
know you
step
ain't
button,
telling no lie.
so
Cause that's how I did my
had
daughter,
to go
man, at the
through it.
shop. I
Yes,
learned her
sir.
how to burn the tie and all that there.
In the
Yeah, at
shop.
the shop. She had to learn it. I had to walk, but I
So
let her
we
put
would.
the tie against the wall so it wouldn't go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Let her feel it back there spinning. It was a hard
Right.
thing trying to dump the clutch, hold the brake with the right hand, and twist the gas with the right hand. That was
Yeah,
back then,
yeah,
you know. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah,
so
yeah.
so
Hey man,
so
all
so
I
the
know
bikes
y'all was
that you
doing it now, man.
so the bikes that you learned how to ride on, was it true clutch hand bike, or did you have two step on the bike at the time? The one that you was teaching her
That
how
I
to
learned
do
to
to
ride
ride.
on.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it had a slider in it. It
Okay,
didn't
so
have the
you was
clutch
actually
on
getting
it. I started
you
out
had
with
to
a
brake on the
slider.
left hand, had to brake on your
Start out
left
with a
hand, so it was a
slider.
little easier for you that
Right
way.
hand.
Yeah.
Oh, so you still
Right
had to
hand.
learn almost just like a regular motorcycle then.
Right.
That's a good
Right.
character. That's
That's
a
right.
good thing to learn. Because I remember the first time I ever rode a slider, they had the brakes on the left hand for the for the brakes,
That's
the
right.
back brake, and it
Where
was
the clutch would be.
some weird way,
Yeah.
whatever the way where it
Yeah.
was. The back brakes was on the right, and I had always rode pro style bikes. By the time I rode pro mod bikes, and I about burned up all the clutches Grant had in his trailer.
Yeah.
but uh,
But
but
we've
look
been
here, we're gonna take
fortunate
a
over
quick.
time. Yeah, go ahead. I'm saying we were
Go
fortunate
ahead,
over time.
go
We had a
ahead,
good
Frank.
mentor. Yeah, just briefly,
Uh
had a
huh.
good mentor in a gentleman by the name of Harry Cooper. And Harry actually is the individual who gave us the drag bike. He gave it to us. I told him I had a wife that I wanted to try to learn to ride a drag bike, and he took her. Basically, we came off that street bike onto that drag bike in the garage, and he's passed away now from cancer. But he was a good mentor to me as well. I will say that, and to us. He did a
Yeah.
lot to to bring us along in the sport as well. Old school drag racer, from back in the day. So we've come across paths with some really good people over time.
We're gonna take a quick break and I'm gonna come back because I got a few more questions I want to ask y'all real quick. Let's get some more knowledge about the Frank and Gladys Loney family over there. John Frank Loney.
That's right. The John Frank Loney. That's right. What the shirt
We'll
say?
be right back
Who
now.
girls? What the shirt say? Who girls what? Who said girls what on
Drag
her
racing
shirt?
team. Oh, her
On her
Oh,
shirt.
shirt. Her shirt. What they say? Who said what? Can't see
who
the
say
bottom of
girls
it.
can't drag race?
Okay
Who
then.
says girls
Okay.
can't
We can't
drag
see the
race?
bottom.
Let
All
that
right.
lady see it
All right. Yeah.
That's
now.
right. We'll be right back. We're gonna pay a few bills. We'll be right back. All right, all right, all right. Hey, look here. I want to find out. Look here. I always ask people this all the time. So we kind of got a little idea about one of your proudest moments, Frank, because you won you won a couple Wallies. I mean, that got to be one of your most
Mhm.
proudest drag racing moments, but
Mhm.
it may not be. So I'm gonna start off with Gladys
Right.
this time. What's some of your what is one of your most proudest moments in motorcycle drag racing that you can remember right now?
The proudest moment with me was the guy that gave me the drag bike, Harry Cooper. I was
Mm-hmm.
at the IHRA bracket finals down in Darlington, and Harry never seen me on the bike before. And I went all the way down to almost the last four standing people in the race. And that was the first time. And my nerves were so shot because they told me Harry was there to watch me race the bike. And I was just nervous. So I told Frank and Curtis Griggs, who came down to help me out that weekend, I don't want to do anything but ride the bike. So I didn't do dial in. I didn't do anything. They took care of all of that for me.
Let me say that she wasn't racing against motorcycles. She was racing against cars, dragsters, at this race. So she was actually racing against cars. If you've ever raced a dragster, you know that they don't take any prisoners. Their dial-ins are dead on. Their reaction time dead on. And she was right in there. I mean, she was right in there. And I definitely was. That was a proud moment for me to see her make those rounds. And it didn't make the car guys very happy to see a motorcycle winning rounds, but a female motorcyclist winning rounds as well. So, you know, that was a good day, and we appreciate Curtis and Griggs' help at that time as well. They practiced on the practice tree between rounds too. We brought a practice tree, and she and Curtis competed, and that made all the world of difference, I think, as well. So, yeah.
So it made me proud because I got a chance to show Harry. I got a chance to show him I can do this on the bike that you gave me. And that made me feel good to show him that.
And so I'm going to segue on. So I just heard Frank, he was like, you know, even like the point when he said that having a young lady, you know, actually do good on a motorcycle. And, you know, we have a lot of women that actually race, but I think that more women would probably come out if they knew that the sport is really wide open for them as well. And so when you say that, you know, I guess maybe 20 years ago it was a different situation, 30 years ago a different situation. But how do you feel about the equality right now in drag racing as it relates to the gender? You know, male or a female. Do you feel like it doesn't matter, or you know, the guys still need to grow up and learn a little bit more? I mean, how do you feel about that yourself personally?
I think we can stand to get a few more women out there. It's not equal as far as women to man ratio. And I think women think it is a man's sport. They can't be competitive in it. But you got some women out there that's knocking the heads off some of these guys. I mean, Megan, Destiny, they're knocking heads off. So women can do it, and we can actually beat a man on the track. So you just got to get out and do it.
Yes.
I've been a victim.
I mean, you know, and then you start talking about Bailey Miles and young ladies like that who, you know, these are tough bracket racers, tough heads up racers. These women, they're really tough, and you know, you can't go out there just because they're a woman and think you're gonna get no pass or no round, because they will send you home packing. How about that? So have y'all ever had a race?
What's a little girl in Georgia? She be racing every time I see you. She there, the little girl in Georgia.
Ariel Cross, and then you know Ariel Cross. She coming. She coming.
She's
definitely coming.
Yeah.
So have y'all had to race each other?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been 1 year there was 1 year that we actually ended up being I won the track championship at Orangeburg Drag Strip, and she was runner up. So that was a good thing to have us at that level at that time. But she's chopped my head off before. Yes, she has.
That's all right.
She had that grin like she has too.
Yeah. Keep in mind that I got to go home with her in the truck, so I had to keep my mouth shut, even though I wasn't happy. But you know, it just let me know that the student had become the teacher at that point in time. So I was very, very pleased with that at that point.
Yes.
So
yes.
That's
what
drag,
you want to have.
Outside of drag racing, what careers do you all have outside? What's your career, you know, outside of motorcycle drag racing? Everybody know y'all at the track. So when you off and you got to go back to the real world of working and all that stuff, taking care of yourself, let's expand on what you do for a living. How about that? If we can.
I think I have like 10 jobs, man.
You're Jamaican.
She does.
I'm an instructor at the Career Center. So I teach at the Career Center, 11th and 12th graders. I'm a professor at a university, so I teach at North Greenville University.
Like that.
I have my own little craft business where I customize anything that you want customized. I can customize it for you. I write books. I'm an author. I just do different stuff.
Lord have mercy, man. Ain't that
And,
something?
and go ahead, Frank, because I'm gonna get back to her because I want to ask her something about something she has done that you all have done actually together. How
Right.
about
Yeah.
you, Frank?
So my background is in civil engineering. I study civil engineering, also environmental engineering. But I work. I'm the executive director of a municipal drinking water company, like city water, if you want to call it that. Serve a population of about 15,000 people, and that's primarily what I do. Other than just on the side, we do a little bit of farming. That's a part of what we do as well. We have a large garden that we normally do. Most of what we actually plant, we give away. So that's kind of what we do on the side. I don't have all those jobs that she has, but I try to support her as much as I possibly can. The one
But
thing I would say is always, uh-huh.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, for any man out there, always know this. This is one thing I always say. Be sure that when you get married, marry somebody smarter than you, and life will be much easier for you.
That's
So
right.
that's where I stand with that.
She got a lot of
Hey, but that's
knowledge.
a
A
good
lot of
thing.
knowledge.
There's a lot of knowledge in the household altogether. I
Yeah,
mean, you know,
that's
when you
right.
talk
It
about
sure will.
the things that she does, and then you know, it's good that you all can bounce different things off of each other, considering that kind of both in two different spectrums of careers. Well, she got 11
Yeah,
careers and you got one, so of y'all 12
right.
careers.
That's right.
No, but
Wood,
you know, we kind
is
of
she the
work.
one that
Frank, you
invented
and
the
I are kind
diaper?
of in the same. Yeah, we kind of in the same light, Frank. You know, both of us deal with water, drinking water, and so I do
Right.
understand how I actually work for the municipalities as well, dealing with that
Yes.
as well, water and sewer distributions and so forth. So I do understand what you're doing.
Right.
That's a lot of work, a lot of responsibility, you know, and a lot of people don't know that, you know, one mistake in those careers can actually harm a big, you know, group of people, period.
Correct. Correct.
You know, they trust us to drink the water. So we got to make sure that's our public health part of our responsibility. Now,
Yes, it is.
Gladys, on the other hand, she actually came out when the diaper was coming out. Gladys and
Yeah.
Frank took the initiative to start manufacturing some of the motorcycle diapers. How did y'all come? How far had y'all got along with that so far right now? Because I know that Josie Brooks actually won one in a
That's
drawing
right.
that we gave her for her bike, and I had it with me for a while, and it looked really well. I mean, it was well made. So I mean, how are you going with that so far?
Still getting orders. You have some people still, buying the diapers. I do it for the ZX14, the GS, and the KZ, and the Hayabusa. Brian Miner, the initial started with Brian Miner because he has the under exhaust system, and they said it couldn't be done. Well, I'm the type of person you can't tell me something can't be done. So I did testing, and I started buying fabric, trying to just consulting with experts on different stuff, and I finally found a combination to where he can use it with his exhaust system, and he's still riding with it today.
He
But I
he actually
had
rides the bike to the track and off the
on the
track.
track. He don't ride it off
How
the
about
track. This
okay,
is just how
just
Booster
at
he
the track.
races.
Okay, I
Yeah.
got you. hmm And
So
so, how did the
he still
testing go
use
so
it.
far? Uh huh.
Oh, the testing is done. That patent is done. Uh, it works, but you have to do what I tell you to do with it.
Right,
It's
right. So
not
you
no
got to have
deviating from
instructions.
it.
Right. So
Yeah.
because you got to
Yes,
follow instructions, basically.
Right.
right,
Can't get
Right.
a order with 8 bolts and don't use number 6.
There you go.
right.
That type of
You have to
situation.
wrap the pipe for
Right.
the under exhaust. It has to be wrapped. You have to have the certain steps that you go through to get it on the bike itself. It's somewhat inconvenient with the under exhaust system, but it does meet the rule of law of the letter of the that you asked for to have a diaper on the bike, and they do work very well. Flat
Right.
pans are very a little bit easier to get on and off, obviously, and she's done a great job with the flat pans. I just happen to have a Hayabusa motor sitting there with a flat pan, and she was able to use that to design some stuff. We
That's
borrowed a
right.
ZX14 flat pan from a friend to get that done, and once again, Gladys stepped up. She's a seamstress anyway, So she did quite well with getting that done. I'm very proud of her just sticking with it and coming up with something that worked. In particular, as she said, the testing that was done and just doing all the research that went into all of what she did and getting the material together to do the work. Very, very good job on her part.
And the orders, and
I
people
was
still
just sitting there for support. She was doing the work.
So you was just moral support.
Moral support
and
mainly.
The physical, and the physical support.
I don't know how to sew.
I think he was coming home every day hoping I hadn't burnt the house down because I was sending stuff on fire test.
Came home one day and there was something in the oven.
I wanted to find the hottest fire I could find.
It was in the oven. I finally had to end up bringing something to the house that we could test outside because we needed more flame, more direct heat, and it worked very well with direct heat. So.
Right.
But she did very good with all the testing, different scenarios. I'd come home one day, it was a fire outside, an actual fire in the yard. So I was like, man, we really are trying to get this right, aren't we?
Yeah.
And she did. Yeah. She did.
That's right. So, and how can the people get in touch with you about, if they still want to purchase the bike? Because at some point, I'm going to leave it up to these racers to try to start making it safe for themselves. I try to push the envelope. And get it to where they could, be mandatory, and it kind of push back on us. And I'm not here to try to lose participation in our series and like that. I just felt like I heard a lot of people really complaining about sitting in lanes. It was hot, all the oil downs, and they wanted the blanket rule. So they come to me, let's make a blanket rule, blah, blah, blah. I agreed with it. I put it out there. And it almost like when I put it out there, the people who threw the rocks put their hands behind their back and let me hold the rocks. But I'm all right with that. But I think in the interim of the sport, in the long term of the sport, it would probably be something that everybody needs to at some point put effort towards trying to have someone on their bike to at least contain it for their own safety. Forget about the track, for your own safety. A little oil on track, we can clean that up, but if you go down, then that's a whole nother situation. But right now, we got it sitting on the side to get the production up and get people like yourself, you all supplying them to people. So, that's good to hear that people are still trying to buy them. That means they obviously trying to buy them some insurance for their own self. Because, and I think the XDA still has a rule in place where you got to show that you've purchased or something like that in order to still race there. I don't know what they're doing with their rule exactly, but I know that people are leaning towards that because of the safety, the insurance, and so forth, the downtime. You're trying to run a show. It's hard to do it when you're spending more time running a tractor than motorcycles. So how can people get in touch with you if they're interested in getting a blanket, for their oil retention device for their motorcycles? How can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, it's really simple. You can just go to my Facebook page and send me a message through Messenger, and I'll reach right out back to you. I get back with you, and we'll come together on what you need, and I get it to you within a day or so.
So and that's the good thing is
Gladys White Loney.
There's no long lead time. She can basically turn it around within a day. So unlike the other manufacturers who you may have to wait for one, as soon as you put your order in, she's on it. She's on it.
Okay, well, that sounds like a plan. So I'm gonna look forward to seeing y'all in South Carolina, the House of Hook. That's a track that you all was it CSRA? Y'all
CSRA drag
bike on the north, and that's correct. CSRA, right?
CSRA Drag Bike Association. How about a plug
I heard they've been talking a little mess about. They got a little Top Gas shootout they want to put together over there. What's going on with that?
Yeah, we're going to try to get something together. You came down when we did the Farrell did the 460 event with 560 as well. And Farrell had got quite a few bikes that he got up down there. So once again, Farrell Scurry has been trying to do a lot. Mr. Quick down at Carolina Dragway. We started CSRA Drag Bike Association about 10 years ago. It was about 3 of us that got together to start kind of the organization, and we had a lot of folk from the Aiken, Augusta, Beach Island area, the Dunbars, Ricky Knights, and all of them came in, and we were able to get some structure going on. And we've been in existence now for about 10 years. I'm no longer an officer. I was one of the first president, along with Keith LeBlanc, the vice president. Farrell Scurry was our race coordinator. As we went on, Farrell Scurry stepped up, and he's now president, and he's also doing a race coordinator job. I'm kind of just sitting back and enjoying myself and just showing up to race. I don't have to do any of the
That's
real
right.
work, but he's doing a lot to really kind of keep the sport going. And it started back after Simsbury kind of folded on us. We needed a place to race locally to kind of keep people in the game. And as a feeder, even into Man Cup, because what we try to do is encourage all of our members to come to Man Cup races. And thank goodness you're coming to Carolina Dragway. I won a track championship down there 3 years back to back, and then again about a year ago. So that's kind of my home track. So I'm glad you're coming there.
Yeah, it's your backyard.
Well, I'm looking forward to coming to House of Hook. I mean, it's always been a good racetrack. As far as I'm concerned, I've never had any issues over there. The track has always worked. Hopefully we'll be able to get people to come on out. We're gonna be there the August 18th and 19th, and we originally had it as a 3-day event. But what I've been noticing is that the 2 days seems to have been going just as good. Gives people opportunity to get back home on Sundays. Use that day for traveling, or as an additional race makeup day. If we get rain on one of the other days, we have some insurance. Having an extra day in the bag is always a good thing as far as I'm concerned. I'm looking forward to Carolina. I mean, I think that this should be a race that brings quite a few motorcycles out, to the Man Cup. I know that a lot of people have probably been a little skeptical about, the change in ownership and how everything was going to be ran. But I'm a racer. I'm a racer first, so I understand how it should run, and nothing much has changed about how a race should run. There's a schedule. Here, be in the lanes when it's time for you to run, and make sure the money's good. Is all I see needs to happen right now.
That's it.
And we, as racers, we appreciate that. We appreciate
it. Wood. Do we got the pictures of her or him on the bikes?
Oh yeah. We got some pictures. Let's show a few pictures they got right there. So tell us about this right here. What we got right here, Frank?
All right, so the interesting thing about this bike, this is a Honda CB750 that I built, not necessarily for me, but for my older brother Rudy. And I've been trying to entice him to get on this thing. He's been on it once to make some test passes with it, trying to get him out, kind of like a family affair kind of thing with Gladys and I. And so he hasn't been on it, so occasionally I'll take it out and I'll play with it a little bit myself. Once again, it's got a monoshock. I have another bike that I built, a Honda with dual shocks on it, and that I race myself in street ET.
So that's a no wheelie bar bike. That was a no wheelie bar bike there, wasn't it? Okay, now who we got right here?
That's me.
That's her.
Tell us,
that's
tell
me
us
on
a little
my
bit
car
about
tire.
what we're looking at.
That's Mama.
What kind of bike is that?
As Big Boss said, that's Mama right there.
That's Mama.
That's Kawasaki car tire bike.
So Mac Lemons, you mentioned Joseph Lemons from North Carolina. Joseph actually gave me a bare frame that he had pretty much thrown behind the barn, and said, "Hey, can you do anything with this?" And I said, "Sure, I'll take that." And I had no wheels, no front end or anything else like that, no motor. So I took it, brought it home, showed it to Gladys, and I said, "I'm gonna be your car tire bike. Get her off that small tire bike because we were having some handling problems with it." And got a motor put together. Ended up getting some wheels, getting it all together. Tommy Stedman of used to be Run Funny Bike back in the day helped me with the build some wheelie bars for it and get the wheels all set up on the bike, and there you have it. She's been made a lot of rounds with that bike. In fact, at this point in time, I doubt
what class does that bike run? What class is that bike right there, the big tire bike that Gladys on?
I run Pro ET in that class.
Okay,
Pro ET. Pro ET.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And what does John ride that bike every now and then too?
Not too quick.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, she lets me get on it sometimes to test it. Yes, and all right, so and I have run and I have made rounds. I actually won a race with it, so it's a good bike. I mean, it went together very well, and she does a good job riding it.
And what we looking at right here?
Okay, that's another interesting story. I don't know if we got time for that story, but this bike right here.
Go ahead. We got another one we got time. Run on with it. Let's ride.
All right, good deal. This is another bike that I put together from a bare frame. When I first met Gladys, I was looking for a car tire chassis, and I came across this bare chassis that Tony Webster had out there in Kansas. Now, this is one of those things I'm gonna say once again about relationships. So if a man wants to find out whether he's compatible with a woman, the first thing you need to do is take her on a road trip, and it needs to be more than 6 hours. So that was my way of figuring out whether this woman was someone that I wanted to spend time with, and if we were compatible, or if we were going to kill each other by the end of the trip. So we drove out to Kansas. We drove out to Kansas City in her truck, and that's another thing. Don't drive your vehicle. Be sure you take hers. That way she's comfortable. And if she puts you out, that's okay. You can walk, but you don't want to put her out on the side of the road.
That's right.
So nevertheless, by the time we came back, I knew at that point in time that this was definitely the woman that I wanted to marry. And you know, of course, the rest is history. But I put this bike together again from scratch. Pretty much had no front end, just bare frame. Tommy Stedman once again stepped up. I mean, this is one of the first bikes he helped me to put together completely. As far as the frame is concerned, I built the motor out of pieces and parts that I came up with. My brother helped me a little bit with some sponsorship stuff to get a laser porting head done. So I probably got more money in that head than anything else. But that's my top gas bike, top sportsman bike, pro ET bike, and 560 bike. 4 classes, 1 bike.
That running. That
You
thing running.
You work that one right now.
I work it, brother.
That's right. Now we got Miss Gladys right there again.
Yeah.
That's the same bike
so
right
that's
there.
That's the 560 index bike. That I run that bike in 560. That's Gladys, the drag bike that was given to us by our mentor Harry Cooper. The first drag bike that Gladys actually rode with a bar and slick. She started off on a street bike, the GSXR with hand clutch. So after she moved over to the car tire bike, I took that bike back over.
So see, these some of the photos. Look at that big smoky burnout. So these some of the photos that you all
chose.
That's not me. That's me. That's not me. That's not me. Once you figure out how to do a burnout,
that's you, girl.
That's me.
Not me.
That's
you
me.
Smoking it, girl. You smoking it, girl. It's smoking, Jack.
Those tires got expensive.
Yeah, she's smoking it, man.
It feel good when you finally can get control over it, though. That burnout, ain't it, man? You ain't got to be worried about it.
He told me to do a long burnout.
She did.
Well,
he said, do a long burnout. Gotcha.
But that's a long one.
Hey, didn't hurt your feelings not one bit, did it?
Not one bit.
Well, look,
she wasn't buying the tires then, no.
Oh, that's what was going on?
Yeah, she wasn't buying the tires then. When she started buying her own tire, the burnouts got shorter.
Yeah, got shorter.
Hey, that racing make you get them other 10 jobs too, don't it?
That's why I have 10 jobs.
Hey, it'll make you go out there and have to get some money. I know that. But one thing I do like about it, it keeps you grinding. You know what I mean? It keeps you focused, have your place to kind of like call your own. You'll release a lot of stress. It's just a good thing. I love racing myself. And I mean, like I said, I tell people this all the time. You know, without it, I don't know what I've probably done so much because it's just one of those things that you have to be almost laser focused, even off the track, to be able to participate on the track. You know, because it costs, you know, you got to plan, you got to prepare, you know, it's just something to do. And I really appreciate being a part of the sport. I appreciate y'all really taking the time. We done went over a little bit, but it's all good. But I really appreciate y'all taking the time to come on tonight and, you know, give us a little bit of your time, get a little bit of your history. Now when folks get to see you at the pits, they know you personally now. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So
hey, Wood,
we're gonna go pay one more. We're gonna go pay one more bill, and we're gonna come back and let Pinky take us on out of here. How about that?
Yeah, I want to say
sounds
something.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up over here. Come on, we got some final thoughts over here. Go ahead, Mr. Big Boss.
Hey, man, I just want to say, look, I just want everybody to know tonight we had a professor on TV. She's a professor. Do you know what that is, man? That ain't just like no anything, man. That means that lady got some real knowledge in her brain to be able to teach somebody else how to do whatever. A professor. That's what I am. I got a master's degree, bachelor degree, and a doctorate degree from street school. You got
Yeah.
yours from the other school. So I can recognize that. And I respect that to the fullest, ma'am. I know you was something bad all the time, but I did not know you was a professor. Yes, yeah, hey man, you know she was the right one when you made that rhyme with her. That's why you married her. Yeah.
A,
She can tote,
That's it.
she can tote
look,
the
That's
a
load,
it.
lot of
man.
people don't
Go
know
ahead.
it. I actually have 2 doctoral degrees.
That's
Yeah, not
something,
one,
man.
but two
That's something.
PhDs. Two PhDs.
And listen to this here,
So,
Wood, listen. If something happened to him right now, he ain't worried about nothing. He knows she can pull the wagon. He know everything gonna be all right.
Well, that's
He
what it's
know it.
all
That's
about.
all right. I
That's
like
what it's
that.
all
that's
about. It's
true.
all about teamwork. That's what he said.
That's
When he
right.
first came on there, he
That's
showed
right.
his shirt.
Teamwork.
He said racing,
That's
team,
right.
teamwork. And look here,
Teamwork.
That
I
what makes a
appreciate
great
y'all for
man
being
a
here.
good woman. And he got a good
That's right.
woman.
That's
Correct.
right.
Thank
Well,
you.
like I said, I really appreciate y'all being on here. We're gonna see y'all in 2 weeks. I mean, probably about a little less than 2 weeks right now. We're in South
Yeah.
Carolina.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell everybody come on
Mhm.
out. Have a good time. We're gonna be there Friday night. Friday. We're gonna pretty much run it just like we ran in Alabama. Early part of Friday, we'll be doing a lot of testing. My goal is to try to get us more of our racing done in the evening times when the sun I kind of settled down a little bit. That's
Yeah.
kind of the strategy here is to try to go ahead and that's kind of the whole deal about the Friday night. Friday night qualifying. Get your little time runs Saturday and start trying to eliminate more towards the afternoon on Saturday and running on into the nighttime so it's a little cooler. Because we know it can get hot over there in South Carolina. We know it get hot over here. It's
Oh
been hot
yes.
everywhere, really. So that's kind of
Correct.
the strategy, but we just got to play it like, kind of play it like it's given to us right now because the weather's been playing games with everybody here lately. So, but fortunately we've been able to get our races completed and people back on the road, safe home to their families. And I appreciate y'all all the support that you all have given us, personally as coming to the series and coming to the races that y'all have come to. I appreciate that. I still got your trophy in my trailer. I see you and get that to you too. And cash that
Oh yeah.
check, man.
Maybe this
Yeah.
time I'll get the #1 trophy instead of the second place, right? But I appreciate
Well,
the second place
Yes.
too.
that's right. And I
Very
still got
nice
another
trophy.
check for you. So you got 2 checks from me. You already cashed that first one first now. You still got a check all the way from
That's right.
Rockingham. Hey man, I appreciate
I'll
y'all and
clear
I
the
love y'all
books.
and I'll see y'all later, baby. I appreciate
Thank you.
y'all.
Thank
Hollywood
you.
Drag
Take
Racing
I
Cast
care.
up
see
live.
y'all.
All right now.
Bye
Peace
bye.
out.
Bye. Take care. All right.